name's Rhys and this is my 38-foot steel boat called Zora. As you can probably tell, it's quite a windy day today and you can see Zora is moving around quite a bit and she's quite tender. A lot of the reason for that is because she doesn't have much in the way of interior or any tankage or anything like that in her, so she's still quite high off her lines. Luckily I have the original plans, so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to measure her freeboard on the stern and on the bow, and I want to see how far off her lines she is, and I want to take reference of that over the next year or so, every month or so, or when I add something heavy, and I want to make sure that she comes down onto her lines evenly, and that should sort out why she's tender, and it should make her a lot more stable. At a guess, I think she's about 4 or 5 inches off her lines, so she's sitting about 4 or 5 inches too high, and I think she's actually sitting low on the front. Her rudder is very, very slightly out of the water at the back, maybe half an inch, and her bow does kind of dive a little bit. You can see that in the videos of her sailing, that when she comes into the wind, she bows into the water a bit. That's all very easily rectifiable. We're gonna maybe put our tankage in the aft section of the boat, and we'll probably add a little ballast as well just to counteract that. But what we'll do today, we'll take that reference point and we'll know where we're starting from. So I have the original plans here, and I know that from these she should be about half a metre from the water on her stern, from this tip. So I'm going to measure that quickly, and her freeboard from the top as well should be about a metre and 1.3 metres. So it'll be interesting to see how far off she is. I think she's a lot further off here than she is on the bow, but we'll check. So the exact measurement that she's supposed to be on the stern is 0.3 of a metre, right? So that's 300 millimetres, which is about a foot, so about 12 inches. So she's currently 460 millimetres off the water, which is 18 inches. So she's a good 6 inches off her lines on the aft section here, on the transom. So straight away, that's in my opinion good news, because it means we can add a lot more weight to the boat to bring her down to her lines. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to check the same on the bow. So on the front of the boat, we're about 1.5 meters before we hit the waterline. So I want to measure that as best I can. I mean, this is a little bit crude, but it works. She's exactly 1.5 from the water on the bow. So she's actually at her lines on the bow, and she's 6 inches up on her bum. So that is actually really good news, because there's not much weight to go in the front. Maybe a little. Maybe like the chain is in the front now. Most of the cabinetry, that like the weight in what I'm going to be planning to do with the cabinetry is in there. All of my tankage is going in the aft section of the boat. Yeah, that's fine. So as you can see by that little experiment, we've got to come down 6 inches on the back while keeping the front more or less the same, which is achievable, definitely achievable. As I was saying earlier, I'm now going to try and keep a log of that. So maybe every month or so, I'm going to double check that and see how we're sitting on our lines, make sure we're not putting too much weight in the forward end as opposed to the aft end. Then when all the cabinetry is done, whenever that is, I'll know how much ballast or not to add to the boat. So yeah, that's a really good experiment to keep on top of. Started running all my electrical conduit, so I've run 2 pieces of electrical conduit, and this stuff's actually going to be buried in the walls. It's going to run up to these junction boxes, so these junction boxes will be open, and the conduit will run into them, so that I can do my different wiring from the lights up from maybe some charging ports, or continuing on the length of the boat. I'm not going to have a huge amount in the way of 240 volts. I'm not going to run a electric windlass, and I'm not going to run much in the way of kind of outlets, 240 volt outlets throughout the boat. So a lot of my 240 volts will be at the chart table. The main reason for that is I've been living between the van and the boat for the last nearly two years, and I found that to be honest, 12 volt systems can provide exactly what you need. I will run a inverter for charging my laptop or for charging batteries for the cameras, but even at that, that'll be at a minimum, so there won't be a huge amount of load there. I will run a inverter for charging my laptop or for charging batteries for the cameras, but even at that, that'll be at a minimum, so there won't be a huge amount of load there. I'm running dual core tinned copper wire for all of my 12 volt systems, so it'll be 1.5 millimeter squared. Nearly all of my electrical 12 volt system is LED or USB, so the max kind of draw on a lot of these wires is going to be maybe 6-7 amps, all inclusive of everything. I'm hoping 2 electrical conduits will be enough. If not, worst case, I can run some more in the cabinetry when I'm finished at the end. I'm not too worried about that. So I'm going to crack on, get these junction boxes fitted, and get more of the conduit fitted into the tow rail, and yeah, we can call that job done then as well. So I've run the conduit up to the back, so I'm only going to run one up the back, because all that has to do is take a bit of the solar panel wiring and some wiring that goes all the way around the back here. So I'm going to run up the back. It's a bit cramped back here. So I'm going to run, so here's the steering quadrant. I'm going to run a bit of conduit along the top here as well, and I'm going to bring it back and run it on toward the galley. Yeah, I think a lot of my lighting will just come from the chart table and over inside the overhead. So yeah, lots of climbing into small spaces again. That's okay. So I'll run that conduit up there now, and that's the next job. There we have it. So conduit to this junction box. I haven't done the front yet because my forward cabin is still being used. But the junction box there, then my conduit will run back here. So it all congregates here because obviously the chart table is going to be the home of all my electric switches and stuff like that. So my electronics will be there. Then it goes back to here. So we have the junction box here for the heads, so there'll be another bit of conduit running down there. And then it runs up to the back, so another junction box here. So that'll house there'll be another bit of conduit that runs back as well, that will hold my solar charging wiring. And then it comes around to the back here and then into the galley. So I think I might have to run a little bit more, but I think for now, I need to think about it a little bit longer, but I think for now that'll do. So yeah. What are you up to?
Glamorous side of sailing. Washing dishes.
Niamh, what are you up to?
Unpacking the shopping.
Do you like the kitchen I built you?
Yeah, temporary.
What's wrong with my kitchen?
Nothing works.
You've got a fridge, we've got a cooker. Sure, we've everything we could want. Tell us what you're doing.
I'm unpacking the shopping and we're making a Nando's style dinner tonight.
Nando's dinner.
Yeah.
What is Nando's for our... isn't Nando's in America?
It's in Canada. I don't know if it's in America.
What is Nando's?
Well, it's just basically pita bread with chicken, spicy. What else do I have? Pila rice. Right, bit of order, ready to cook. Sauce.
I've been spending the last kind of, I think it's about 4 months now since I started studying for my Yachtmaster. So when you go abroad or when you sail abroad, it's best to have like some kind of qualifications, especially if you're coming into foreign ports when you've got like immigration officers or port officials looking at your documentation. If they see that you've done your due diligence and you've actually got some qualifications, I think it makes things a lot easier. I don't think it's a prerequisite to going sailing, but I think it's very important to do it. Have all your paperwork in order is very important, and this is all part of that. So yeah, my bed is also my desk. Yeah, times are tough. So that's all we have time for this week. I'm going to get back to my study. I've got an exam in about 2 weeks' time, so I need to get that knocked out. And I'm really looking forward to having a little bit more time to work on the boat again. One thing I wanted to mention is we've actually launched a website, so it's www.sailingyachtzora.com. I put a link in the description. Niamh started working on doing some blogs as well and writing a bit more behind the scenes stuff. So if you're interested in learning more about the project, you can actually check it down in that link. Yeah, and let us know what you think of it. As always, thanks for watching. We really appreciate it when people watch the videos and comment. We read all the comments. Most of the comments are really nice. And yeah, we really appreciate all the support, especially around kind of watching the videos and Patreon and stuff like that. So again, thanks very much for all of that. Again, thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video.